So I want to add to the discussion that I was having in my previous podcast, episode number 1. So if you haven't listened to that one yet, definitely check that one out, because I was talking a lot about how to kind of handle change, how to deal with change, especially when it's change we didn't ask for. I want to talk about the importance of taking inventory of how you spend your time. And this is something that I've had to do a lot recently, because I kind of have this thing where it's a good thing and then it's also like very detrimental to growth for me. But usually when I find something that I really like or that I want to pursue, I'll pursue it passionately, non-stop. And I will zone in on this thing and I will make that the thing that I'm all about. This is true for relationships that I've been in. It's true for projects that I've pursued. It's true for so much. And while that might seem like a good thing, right? To an extent, it could seem positive. The downside to that, and the side of it that I have struggled to get a handle on, is balance. Is knowing that too much of something is a bad thing. Like we need balance in order to function properly. And for me, I've had to constantly step out of myself. I know that sounds crazy, y'all, but what I'm trying to say is I've had to remove emotions, I'll say that, from my mind and think logically about what I'm doing, because I'm a very empathetic person. I'm a very emotional person. I operate on emotion way too much. It's true, I think, because I'm an Aquarius. Luckily, my parents raised me to be very logical about life. And so I have that. But I am constantly having to step back and ask myself, how are you spending your time? For instance, this podcast. This podcast is something I want to do so badly that in all of my free time, I'm dedicating to, researching podcasts, to researching equipment, to researching the process, to researching how to strategize content, to listening to other podcasts to see what people are talking about, researching articles to back the things that I want to talk about, looking at the researching research, y'all. Like that's what I've been spending my time doing. In other areas of my life are lacking. Like I've locked myself in my living room, in my room, doing all this reading and researching that I haven't gone out to get some fresh air. I haven't been cooking the way that I should. I haven't been socializing with my family the way that I should, with my friends the way that I should. I haven't been exercising. And so that's the thing, like there's a trade-off, right? In order for me to dedicate all this time that I want to spend to something is usually lacking. And you can apply that to relationships too. I know me personally, when I get into a relationship, I usually am all about that person. I want to spend all my time with them and do things. I want to know what they have going on, and I want to try and help them, reach their goals. And I dedicate all this time and attention to this person. And I end up taking away from myself. I end up taking away from nurturing friendships, nurturing my social life outside of that person, nurturing my own goals. I've been in relationships where I am making the conscious decision to commit all of this time and energy to someone that they aren't even asking for. They're accepting it and taking it and loving it, and they'll say something if it changes, but it wasn't initially asked for. I call that doing too fucking much. But the point I'm trying to make is that balance is key, right? I was having a conversation with someone close to me today, and we were talking about how I've been spending my time lately. And I was like, I'm reading all these books about how to create a brand for yourself online, and how to run an online business, how to do like a coaching business, how to do like a product business, because I sell crystals, right? And so reading all these books, reading all these articles, watching all these YouTube videos about entrepreneurship. Even when I watch TV, y'all, I've been watching The Profit. I've been watching Shark Tank. I've been watching CNBC Make It on YouTube. Like I fully am invested and saturated with business. because I feel like I'm also playing catch up, which I kind of discussed a little bit in my episode 1 about negativity and how that has kind of held me back, like negative thinking. And so I feel like I'm playing catch up in my life and I don't have time for leisurely things, but this person I was talking to, he was like, well, you reading all these business books. What's the last non-business book that you read that was just like a feel-good type of book? And I was like, a novel? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. It's been a minute. He was like, well, maybe you should try doing that. And when's the last time you interacted with people like outside? We're in a pandemic. I'm not about to go out here and force myself to interact with people. And he was like, well, you should try it. You need to get out of this mode. You got to have balance. And I feel like this is basic stuff and I do know it, but the fact that he had to tell me, I was like, all right, you're right. I have been like locked in this zone. And the thing about being locked in like that, the thing about overly extending yourself and doing too fucking much is that at a certain point, you won't be able to think about anything else. You become blind to everything else. You have these blinders on, you have tunnel vision. And that's not the way to operate in life, because what's going to happen is other areas of your life are going to start to suffer. Life is constantly about balance. And sometimes you just need someone to tell you that shit. And so I'm here on this podcast to tell you, whoever is listening, that you need to practice balance. Maybe you're spending too much time watching Netflix. I know that I go through my seasons where I do that. There is so much out there to watch, y'all. It's not even funny. We are living in times where you literally can just sit at a TV and watch endless amount of content. Maybe you're someone working out too much. You're committing yourself too much to eating healthier and working out so much that you're not allowing your body to rest. It's in that rest and it's in that balance that you're able to think more clearly. Because the beautiful thing about life is that as you're going through all of these experiences, oftentimes it'll spark a thought that'll impact how you make decisions. So for instance, with these podcasts, this weekend, I'm going to take a gun class with my cousin. She is a handgun instructor. And so I'm going to go get my Maryland handgun qualification license this weekend. And I'm really looking forward to that because, well, one, because I'm going to exercise my Second Amendment, and I think that you should too, but also because it's something totally different. It's getting me out of my little bubble right now. I'm going to see my cousin, going to get to hang out with her for a little bit, and I'm going to learn something new. I'm going to get to talk to other people, and who knows, my time there will spark new content for my podcast, or it'll spark like a new interest. Maybe I'll have a new hobby where I'll want to start going to the gun range and just shoot, and that'll be therapeutic for me. I say all this to say that life is all about balance, and it is very hard when you are committed to something, whatever that commitment is, but it's extremely necessary for your well-being. And there has to be some sort of system set up to check yourself, right? And realistically, that system should be like routines. And so that's the thing that I'm trying to work on now. I'm like, all right, I want to finish off 2021 strong. I need good routines in place, because what better way to manifest than to look at how you're spending your time and come up with a new way of distributing your time. So just a little food for thought, y'all. As always, if you guys have any comments, questions, concerns, any topics you want to hear me discuss, definitely feel free to DM me on Instagram at Queen of Cups Podcast. And until next time, y'all, take it easy. I'm wishing you guys love and light, and please, 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 please be safe out there.